Alex here, and welcome to a new book review. If you guys haven't realized it, I have a new camera. It doesn't really have autofocus, sadly, but you know what? That's fine. He needs autofocus. But anyways, um, so this book review, uh, to continue on, with the theme of this month, is going to be the official movie novelization of Godzilla from 2014. It is written by Greg Cox, based upon the screenplay by Max Bernstein, and story by David Callahan. This copy is the 2014 Titan Burks paperback edition. My original copy, and the only copy I have. Now, I have seen the duology where they combined this novelization and the Godzilla King of the Monsters novelization into one. And if these two ever get to the point where they just fall apart, I may get that one. I'm not sure. But anyways, onto the actual review of this book. Just like any other novelization, there's a lot that is the same as the movie, and there's some that is different than the movie, as well as additions, like the addition of the characterization of Admiral Stans. Now, this book makes me like him all the more. He doesn't like that they had to go with the nuclear option, but he has no choice. He asks Dr. Cesare if he's 100% certain that Godzilla would win, pretty much, against the Mitos, and that Godzilla will go back to the ocean. And when Dr. Cesare can't guarantee that, he is very regretful that they'll have to move forward with the nuclear option. And above all of that, he actually does care for the people that he's supposed to be protecting, aka the bus full of children on the bridge. So, he is one of my favorite military characters in movies and books as of right now. Another addition to this novelization is the addition of showing us the collateral damage in the loss of human life, the bodies that are left behind. One such scene happens before the female Moto attacks the train that holds the nuclear missiles on them. Ford sees a family in a station wagon in a congested road. He sees a kid holding a teddy bear with her parents. And then when he wakes up after the attack on the riverbed downstream, he sees the same station wagon that's just a burnt husk now, with the teddy bear being dirty and ripped and so on and so forth. Insinuated that the kid and her parents did not make it out. And there's other instances where we actually quote see the corpses of civilians that did not make it out of the city and so on and so forth. And I think As in those scenes makes the the story like more real, more or less, because yes, we know that there's probably casualties in the movies, more so than we actually see, like the people in Janjira containment facility, I guess I could call it, being stepped on, a crane operator going into the pit, so on and so forth. Uh, no, there is some changes, additions of scenes that I don't particularly care for, like Godzilla's first use of his atomic breath. One, Greg doesn't really call it a nuclear breath or atomic breath, more fire breath for some reason. um, but the one thing I'm thinking of is the scene in Honolulu. He uses his breath in that scene. That's his reveal of his breath. I prefer it happening in the movie, especially because uh, of his breath happening in Honolulu, and then later on when he tries to use it again, the Mutos sort of turn his breath off with their EMP instead of weakening it. So we wouldn't have the scene that happens in the movie of his breath reveal happen in this novel. The female Muto just looks forward after the nest blows up, and then turns and goes straight for the nuclear warhead. I do not like that change. I mean, it, I think it was in the original script, and they changed it for in the final script to what it was in the movie. But you guys know what I'm getting at. Not my favorite original plan or change or whatever you want to call it. But besides all that, I did love reading this. I did love it, and I have really forgotten what happened in the novelization. So I'm glad I could reread it to sort of soak it in again. And yeah, I gave this a 4.25 stars. And that's it for this novel review. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys. Now, remember to like this video, comment down below of what you think about this novel, if you read it, and subscribe for more content. I'll see you, readers, in the next video.